All right, I'm gonna do this all in one take. We'll see how it happens. Welcome. I wanted to talk to you guys, to my friends. I'm calling this segment Day After Tuesday. The reason I'm calling it that is because we've got 38 weeks until the election of the 2024 elections in America. There are a lot of elections leading up to that. We'll get there, but the 38 weeks until that Tuesday, November 5th. Now, why am I calling it Day After Tuesday? It's because, well, elections happen on Tuesdays very often, and the presidential elections, they happen on Tuesday, and we don't want to wake up Wednesday morning wondering if we could have done something more. I know that not Wednesday morning is not necessarily the day that we know what the results are and who the election is called for, but the point still stands that we don't want to regret not doing more. And there are 38 weeks until that Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. I've been doing a lot of election volunteering and activism, and I want you to know about different ways you can help, from small to big effort, and what are the most impactful things you can do, given that you might have a little bit of time or a lot of time, or want to know how best to use your time or money. So from now until November 5th, that Tuesday, I'll try to at least do a Day After Tuesday segment. Now, what will it be about? First off, this content is for my friends who either lean liberal, maybe lean moderate, or even if you lean right, but just value democracy and believe that Trump, and even if not Trump, the GOP, the party today, is planning to subvert our democracy and our ability to make just some long overdue progress. If we believe we have to fight climate change, if you believe that we have to fix the chaos at the border, or fight wealth inequality, or fight for women's right to choose, this content will be for you. This will also be specific to action. Things you can do, things that have happened, yes, but efforts, recommendations, how you can help. Because frankly, this isn't about news and kind of, political theory or academics, and certainly I will not feed you all the political news that has happened in the past week, because that's just more doom and gloom, and that's not healthy. We want to be able to put in effort and be productive, and only, just focus on the healthy things and things we can control. There's a saying I really like, the opposite of doom, which you might be feeling if you're reading a lot of things about polls about Biden, or you might be losing hope that, maybe we're losing some voters, etc. Look, whatever's happening in the news, you can ignore that, or at least you could just throw it in the pile, and I'll talk about that as well. But the opposite of doom is not hope, it's planning. And so this video series and the content that I'll produce in between will be about plans, actions. And they won't be about Trump trials. Yes, trials plural. And unless you're a law enthusiast, you should ignore those and a lot of headlines having to do with things that are happening with Jack Smith, blah blah blah, all these trials. Forget that. Also ignore the polls, kind of. There's a phrase, throw it on the pile. There's a lot of information that's out there, and one additional poll is another to add to the pile. It doesn't fundamentally change how we get to where we want in terms of our planning, so don't focus or obsess too much about these kinds of headlines. All right, so I did an intro to what this Day After Tuesday segment is about. Now I want to talk about the past week leading up to this past Tuesday. So there were 3 elections, sort of special elections or specific elections that were not, maybe big, though there was a lot of media around it, if you call it some CNN or anything in the past day. It was the New York election to replace George Santos, remember that guy? As well as a Pennsylvania State House and an Oklahoma State House. And those are the big ones. Here are the takeaways. These special elections, or these elections that are on the local level or state level, uh, they require a lot of work. 2024, big focus, but there's stuff in between that you need to focus on too, or we need to help out. And they matter because, so there are two elections that I canvassed for and ones that I phone banked for as well. There were earlier this year, the Virginia Democrats. They retook the General Assembly. If you remember, the Republicans took the Virginia governor and the Virginia House and only had the Senate, a slim majority in the Senate, to defend against things like anti-choice laws or anti-voter laws. And then this past year, we won both the House and the Senate back, hoping to win the Virginia governorship back. In New York, this is another one where that matters a lot. George Santos being replaced. Not only does it matter that we have a good House of Representatives that doesn't have, a defrauding representative, but we want to reduce the slim GOP majority. You do remember that it is the GOP that is voting to impeach Mayorkas, wasting our time with that, wasting our time with, distractions like Hunter Biden, etc. The border deal, even though it was good for Republicans and had a lot of conservative policies in there, that got thrown out because they wanted to not solve the problem. Won't get into all of that, but the point is there is a slim GOP majority, and we need to reduce that so that we can get more done. And also, having this victory in New York, as is Tom Suozzi winning in Long Island, we get to have an incumbent who can win, so we can win back the House. It adds more to the Democrats' number and might win back the House in November. The Pennsylvania state matters because the state legislature in Pennsylvania, they can enact laws for how people vote. And Pennsylvania matters a lot in terms of how it votes because it's a swing state. The last takeaway around the past week is that this stuff takes work, and we lost a lot of seats we didn't need to in 2022 because we didn't put in the work. For example, George Santos was able to win. That shouldn't have happened. And finally, helping feels good, especially when your candidates win. And that won't happen all the time, but it just, the past few victories I've seen, like, wow, it's a little different compared to when you help out a candidate and they, barely lose. But it is different. So that I'll tell you more about the canvassing that I did, the phone banking that I did. There are ways to help. It feels good and it's kind of easy, but some of these things you might be interested in or not interested in. It's okay. There are different ways to help. So I covered past week. Great. Okay. The plan. All right. Like I said, the opposite of doom is planning. So what's the plan for you? What's the top action for you? Give money, give time, etc. What are the different candidates? What do I have to study? No need to study anything yet unless you already know this stuff or you're kind of an expert. But if you're starting out and you want to know how to help in these 38 weeks, just be in the know by being in the right stream of information. Sign up for information. One, sign up for something called Swing Left. Look it up. Swing Left is an organization that focuses on highly impactful races for Democrats in the country. You can just receive the newsletters for now. And then you might see a state that you care about, or you might see a state that it's a battleground state, and they usually aren't battleground states. But, you might find one race during a time when you have more free time, you have some money to give. Signing up for the newsletter is more important, just to get in the habit of reading that stuff. Mobilize.us has specific events and specific volunteering opportunities. You can look there and browse around. Also, if you don't sign up for anything, but please do, you can also pay attention to this stuff that I'm putting out. Like I said, I hope to do this every week for 38 weeks and more than just once a week. But you can favorite my profile for now. So on Facebook, I think you can star it, and you'll get notified of my posts. I don't post much anymore. Those other posts hopefully are humorous and fun for you too. But it's the posts for now in these 38 weeks will be mainly these videos, as well as text posts that serve as the readable version of it. Also, message me or comment saying you want to be in the know, because I'll send this type of information out. I'm considering an email summary or post somewhere else, so I can keep you in the know. And then finally, if you want to be more proactive instead of just being in the know, you want to do something right now with your money and time, give some money to Swing Left. Swing Left has a thing called Blueprint. It's a program where they have a portfolio approach, where they already have figured out through polling and just figuring out what matters most in the national sense, knowing the most impactful races to put money into to defend the Senate, to win back the House, to win battleground states for Biden. And that Swing Left Blueprint, that site, you can give money right there. You can donate to Swing Left. You can also customize where you want to donate your money just based on your preferences or biggest issues. It'll ask you questions, or you can navigate to the right areas and say, I want to donate to this pile of races. They'll figure it out for you. So that's the plan. There's a lot more you can do. I can detail it out, but just for this video, let's start small. So that's the plan. Hope you can see this. And finally, let me end with hope. So, like I said, the opposite of doom is not hope, it's planning. But I'd like to end with a little bit of hope. So here's your hope. Many polls have not captured the strength of Democrats. And the work that the campaigns, the volunteering, and the money being put in seems to be working. Democrats have a lot of strength. For example, in those three races, polling, those three candidates where the Democrats won, the New York one that I was talking about, the Pennsylvania one, as well as the Oklahoma one. And actually, we didn't win the Oklahoma one, I don't think, but the Democrats overperformed what polls showed. For example, there was I think polling showed that Tom Suozzi replacing George Santos in Long Island. It was, the polling said +1 to Tom Suozzi, maybe +4 to Tom Suozzi. He might end up winning 7 to 8% once we tally all the votes, but that's overperforming, maybe within margin of error. But what does that mean? It might mean that it might not mean that much to the national presidential election, because it's a special election in Long Island, in New York. But at the same time, we can't underestimate that we are gaining strength, or rather, there are signs of strength. We can win, and this could be a blueprint for what messaging, how to help, how to volunteer, what kind of work actually is productive for winning elections at this level, at the state and local level, and then that can carry over up ballot, if you will, to the Senate. This was the House, but the presidential. So anyway, wanted to share that, and that's it. This is your, first segment of Day After Tuesday. Thank you.